A thing that triggers a lot of people, right, is money. So they'll be looking at like a news feed or a magazine or something, and then they see someone like a celebrity or whatever else, and the first thing in their mind is, oh, I can't stand that person, I hate that person, why them, like the universe hates me. That's the wrong way of looking at it. What about them having money is triggering you? Where do you feel that you can't have that? And then how do you clear that belief? You know, if you were to journal about it, what is it? Where is it? Was it somewhere that you felt abandoned in life? Was it somewhere that you felt not loved enough in life? Was it somewhere where you felt not worthy? Like, these can all be root causes to that one thing, but you're not going to get there by not looking at it.
Yeah.
And just going through with anger is not going to solve anything.
Yeah. That's very wise. We all want good things. We want good life. We want happy things. We want pleasant life. So this is what we want. This is where we are, right?
Yep.
And rather than hating on what it does not work out or what we're lacking of, think about how we could bridge them.
You got to think about how you can bridge the gap.
Yep.
And then you have to actually take the action to bridge the gap. You know, a lot of people think about it, but they don't take action. And, you know, there's the component of everything that has to come together. Like, there's healing, there's action, there's listening to the universe, right? And like the pings that you get and going and doing those things. And if you don't do that, well, then what are you doing?
Right. And also, I think also like after you take the action and the time, the patience. So for example, going to work out or do certain things. We showed up a week, 2 weeks, nothing happened. You start saying, well, this may not work out for me, and people quit before they see the result. If I want to start something, I want to create something, well, this is probably not going to work, nobody's going to like this, or I don't know, like there's a lot of unknown creates that potential fear or risk. Right. And I think having the courage to just kind of move forward and do the action and let life unfold.
Yeah. And then just, you know, being positive and being present and being in the moment and being available.
I love it.
You know, we're so addicted to cell phones at this point in time. Everyone's on them. You know, people go through their days just looking down on their phones like this.
Totally.
The connection that was there, like, doesn't exist. Like, you don't know what you're going to miss. You don't know who you could talk to. You don't know what that person could do for you, what you could do for that person. Like, we just go through in this like numb state, and it's not beneficial for anyone.
Yes, and not living through just like autopilot.
Right.
And I love this in-person connection, in-person talking. I really think about ultimately that's what our human is, that we differentiate from all other mammals, is that we have the consciousness. And the consciousness is created by the way how our brain wire and how we feel the connection, the love. That's how our brain interprets it. Oh, she likes me because she smiled at me. Or if you have a negative perspective, you could say, well, she smiled at me. She probably think I'm funny, or like I look funny, something. Like, you could literally change the context of how you feel from the same result.
Perception's crazy.
Perception, it's powerful.
It is. And, you know, I think it's about gratitude, right? It's about being grateful for what you have. And I think so many people are not grateful for what they have. When you take that time and you are grateful for what you have, for what comes into your life, for the opportunities that have presented themselves, etc., like, you are in a more positive space. You're like, oh, okay, like, I am loved.
Yes.
The universe does love me.
Yes.
Things are okay.
Yes.
It's not all doom, gloom, and...
I absolutely agree, because it reminds me of, like, a lot of times we take things for granted. I'll give you a story. So I have a friend who recently broke his ankle. Until then, before that, he was like, wow, I didn't know, now I can't go to the gym, now I can't go to work, now I can't drive. I have to look for a family member or friends to come and help me. All of a sudden, he started realizing health, having not injured foot, it's actually something that he needs to be grateful for. Yeah. Because if they don't lose it, you don't know that how much appreciate that they actually have.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if if there's a thing that would be perceived as like being super negative, right? Like losing a job or something like that. Instead of spiraling into a depression, the best thing you could do, the most proactive thing you could do would be, okay, well, what about that wasn't serving me? What about, career do I want and am I looking for? How did this meet this? How did this not meet this? Okay, now I know this is what I want. This is where I'm going, and looking forward and not looking back.
And just to add on to what you've shared so far, through the experiences or challenges or self-reflection that you had, what else that taught you about resilience and also confidence, right?
Acting teaches you confidence from day one because you have to get up there and you have to perform. So if you have children and you want them to have confidence skills, throw them in an acting class, because once you have them have to get up there, it's public speaking, it's all sorts of things. It's great for that. But also it teaches you how to have a presence. And then in addition to that, it teaches you a lot of that resilience. You're going to get told no way more times than you're going to get told yes. And that's something that you have to realize going into that career. Like, the no's are going to come. You might get lucky and right off the gate that might be a yes, and that's great. But, and it doesn't matter what level you're at on the spectrum, A-list, B-list, C-list, just starting out, whatever, the no's are going to come. That rejection is real. And you have to be able to be like, okay, I got tough enough skin. That's fine. I got rejected. I'm okay.
Right.
Moving on, and not let it affect you in a negative way.
That's awesome. I love it. That's the inner voice that we need. And that is something that could serve you, for the rest of your life, because that doesn't just apply in acting. It applies to all aspects in life. The really beautiful thing about you is you develop the strong muscles of resilience, but underneath all that, you have this loving and compassionate and grateful heart. That is the true north and anchors you. What part of yourself are you trusting more now?
I'm trusting more now my femininity and my feminine energy in a way where it doesn't have to feel guarded.
I love it.
And it can feel more open. And I think that we have a society now where, that has become a thing with objectification and women willingly submitting themselves to objectification on OnlyFans and the adult industry and whatever else. And there's not a problem with that. You can do that. You can be sexy. That can fulfill you. But you also still need to have this inner kind of peace within yourself and power and feel empowered and not feel like it's the one and only thing that you can do to create income. And I think we've seen now a lot. There's been, a bunch of articles in the last month of girls that were making millions of dollars a year on OnlyFans, started when it first started, and how, they just crumbled at a certain point in time and they can't do it anymore and they don't want to do it and they feel that the only thing that they were good for was that. And that's not the only thing you're good for. You are, good enough to do whatever it is you want to do. And there's other avenues to make money. Sharon Stone came out and talked about how she never felt like she actually owned herself. And I think that's sad. And I think having felt that way, even to some extent, that it just, this femininity, when it's just outwardly this sexual energy, is very powerful. It's very domineering. It's almost got a masculinity to it because it's also guarded. It's willing to go this far because you've been hurt enough probably in the past that you can do this, and you can do this in a guarded way. But, to actually be vulnerable with it, to be open with it, to use it in a way that's light and loving and, that's more powerful. It just is rare. And I want women to get to that point where they don't feel that they have to be so guarded in their sexuality anymore.
The thoughts that come to my mind is that you have the agency to choose what you want to live and how you want to live with your life. The most important thing is knowing what you want within, right? And that really circled back to what we talked about earlier, is that finding that inner peace and connecting yourself with your mind and body. And from that point on, as long as whoever's listening or whoever decision that you're going to make in your life, as long as you're honest with what you want and move forward with that, then you will find your way somehow. Somehow down the road, right? For young women or inspiring creators that's watching, what message do you hope that your presence in your work give them?
Stay true to yourself. Don't lose yourself in someone else's game. And, you know, just be there for you.
I love it.
Don't worry about being a people pleaser. Just be there for you. You know, I think with women, we really, and we do this differently with girls or kids, for instance, than when boys are kids. We really teach them people pleasing at a young age. And it's such an ingrained thing into a woman, and it shouldn't be. You know, when a little boy says to a parent, I don't want to play with this person. Okay, fine, just don't play with this person. When a little girl says it, it's a big deal. It's, oh, well, you got to be nice, don't hurt this person's feelings. And it becomes a learned pattern and a learned belief and a learned behavior that in order for me to be nice, I have to give my time, my space, and my energy to anyone and everyone that asks of it and demands of it. And it doesn't serve us. We need to stop, because your time, your space, and your energy are the three most important things and sacred things.
They're sacred, yep.
In anyone's life.
Yes.
And to say that to girls is so wrong. I think
100%.
That's part of the reason that we have, you know, the issues that we do with the whole Me Too movement. I think that's part of the reason that we have the issues we do with objectification and sexualization and everything. I think it's part of the reasons that we have the problems we do as females, where females stay in relationships far too long.
Yes.
They don't get divorced early enough. You know, the relationship isn't serving you, move on.
Yes.
Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you have to stick around for anyone else other than you.
I love it. And if your younger self could see where you are today, what do you think she would feel the most proud of?
I don't think she would even recognize me.
Yeah, that's...
To be completely honest with you.
Awesome.
I don't think I had any idea who I really wanted to be when I was 19 or 20. It was totally just what I thought I wanted, right? It wasn't having asked any questions. It was just going through hoops and finding the motions. It was a lot of use of all sorts of substances, and you know, I don't think I was never happy. I didn't deal with trauma properly. I didn't process things. I didn't have the time to do it, and I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't feel safe or comfortable going to certain people that I probably should have and saying, hey, this happened, can I talk to you? Because it ultimately felt like it was going to be put back on me, and it would be like shame and blame and guilt. And I think I went through my early 20s, my 19 early 20s, I went through incredibly jaded, incredibly angry. I think I did everything out of anger and out of spite. Like, my motivation to do anything was definitely going to be anger and spite. Like, oh, you can't do this. Oh, yes, I can. Watch me. Oh, you don't want me doing this? Okay, well, then I'm going to do it. And I think that rebellious spirit is good in other ways, and it can be used constructively. But, you know, at that point in time, it was just a very destructive place to be, and I didn't really know how else to live. So if I was to look at myself now, I think it would just be like looking at a stranger. I don't even think they'd recognize each other.
That's powerful. I love it. Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your heart today.
Thank you.
And your journey reminds us becoming ourselves is the most courageous story that we can tell.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. We'll be back soon with another conversation.